Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryder, and this is your beginner's guide to Zenyatta. In this video, we are going to go over the abilities and the playstyles and the skills of Zenyatta and kind of give you a good working starting point to kind of get started in quick play and some early competitive with him and kind of understand how he functions as a support hero and functions in general so that you can kind of have a working understanding and get started. Keep in mind, this is not a advanced guide in any way. It's not going to get you to Grandmaster. It's just a way to get you started. It's a good grounding point, good starting point for you. So if you're new to the game, hopefully this helps you out. But before we get started, please feel free to hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Check the description below where you'll find a link to my Twitch channel where I stream pretty regularly on there as well. But without further ado, let's jump into the guide for Zenyatta. So, Zenyatta is a support hero. When I say support hero, what that basically means is your job is to support your team. Your primary job is to heal your team. You heal your team so that they can stay in the team fight longer and you can keep them alive whenever they're taking damage. But support heroes have a secondary purpose as well, and that is to use their tools that they have to tip the scales in their team's favor. And support heroes can sometimes be the difference between a win and a loss in competitive play. Zenyatta is actually one of the more powerful support heroes if played correctly. We're going to get into his kit here, and we're going to kind of tell you why. So, Zenyatta has... his main gimmick is his orbs. He has his orbs of destruction. His primary fire is just a single shot orb that he shoots at targets. As you can see, they do pretty good damage. You can even do even more damage with a headshot. I mean, Zenyatta can straight dome people. I mean, you see the amount of damage that he can do with a headshot. It's pretty silly. You can also hold your secondary fire down and charge up, and when you fully charge it, you can just absolutely pump damage out because you send a volley of orbs out, and it does a ton of damage. It's a good tool if you're wanting to burst down a tank or something like that. So those are his primary and secondary fire. Now, as far as his support tools that he only has two. It's not a lot, but there's some nuances to it. His healing ability is his left trigger. His left trigger tosses out a orb of transcendence. This orb of transcendence deals ticking healing over time effects to whatever you have it on. Okay, the entire time. You don't have to reapply it. However, you do have, if you want to heal a different target, you do have to swap over and pick that other target. It is instantaneous. There is no cooldown on this. You can heal that up and swap over to the next one, heal that up. You know, oh my gosh, okay, that person's getting healed up, and swap to this one, go to that one, okay? Now, little tip here. The orb will only stay on the target if they are within your line of sight. If they leave your line of sight for approximately 3 seconds, then the orb will auto drop off. As you can see there, it just fell off, came back to me. So, after approximately 3 seconds, if that person is out of your line of sight, that orb will drop off. So, if you have the orb on you from a Zen, don't run too far from them. If you have the heal on somebody, make sure that you either stay with them, or if they decide to charge in, guess what, buddy? They're on their own. They don't chase after them. Zen only has 200 health. They're not going to survive in a huge team fight. Obviously, if your team's pushing in, you can. But like, if you have a Genji that you throw an orb on, he dives into the enemy team and behind a wall or something, you're not going to be able to heal him. Like, good luck. He's on his own. So that's kind of the downside of his healing output. But the thing is as long as this healing orb is on the target, they have to really pump damage into that target to really kill it. As you can see, I mean, I'm gonna wait until this bot gets very low here, very low. Okay, it's getting low. I'm gonna throw the orb now. As you can see, this orb is just a non-stop heal over time effect. The damage is just not even registering on the bot. I'll even wait till it gets lower, and now I'll throw it out there. Still recovers them. Okay, so this healing orb is very powerful. You should throw it. I primarily like to keep it on my tank so that they can push in a little bit more effectively. But you can throw it on basically anybody that's really getting pressure. Now, his secondary ability is his Orb of Discord. Now, this is your enemy one. You can throw this, and it has the same rules. You have to stay within line of sight of the target. If the target leaves your line of sight for approximately 3 seconds, the orb drops off. But when you throw your Orb of Discord on a target, then it will show up right next to where your ultimate gauge is, as you can see on at the bottom of my screen. While that Orb of Discord is on the target, that target takes increased damage from all sources while that orb is on them. So damage that would normally just take a few ticks now will take, a few ticks less, basically. This is what makes Zenyatta a very strong support hero, because Zenyatta has very, very respectable damage as a support hero. You should basically be, you're almost like a quasi DPS in a way. Your primary thing should be you find a low health target, you throw that orb out, you throw your Discord out, and then you just start pumping out your damage. Oh, that one's low health, let me Discord another target, and you just keep pumping it out. That one leaves your line, throw a Discord on another target. Keep on pumping it out. Discord on another target, keep on pumping it out. The entire time you're doing this, you are throwing your healing orb out to whoever is nearby you. Okay? It is absolutely bonkers the amount of damage that Zenyatta can do, the amount of support he can do with his Discords. And it's even better, and this is something that I don't touch on a lot in my videos, but there are some heroes that really benefit from it. Communication. If you have voice chat, if you have the ability to use voice chat, I highly recommend doing so with Zenyatta if your team is communicating with you. Because if you communicate with them and say, I have the orb, Discord on Zenyatta, or Discord on Pharah, Discord on Road, Discord on Rhine, etc., etc., that lets your DPS and your tank know these targets are going to take more damage. They are the priority target. They're Discorded. They're easy pickings. And they know that those are the individuals. You should try to prioritize your Discords on individuals who your team are currently focusing, or who are already low health, so you can finish picking them off for your team. Things like that. Your Discords are what's going to carry a team fight. You can absolutely decimate an enemy team with it. It's absolutely bonkers the amount of utility you can provide to your team with your Discord orbs. I cannot stress that enough. But the difference between communicating with your team as to who has Discord and not communicating is like a night and day difference. If you communicate with your team, you're going to have a much better return. But even if you're somebody who doesn't like talking, just throwing those Discords out on a low health target and just throwing them out yourself is still going to be very useful. You're still going to get a lot of value out of it. So, you don't have to talk, but you'll get a lot better response if you do. And then, of course, I covered all that because... I covered all of that because that's the main thing of Zenyatta, but I also have left out his ultimate, which I already have. His ultimate is not very complicated. It's called Transcendence. When he pops Transcendence, he basically forms a huge field around him that does massive healing. Nothing within Transcendence will die. It only lasts for a few seconds, but while you have it active, nothing can die while it's inside your Transcendence. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that here, and as you can see, for 6 seconds, nothing is going to die. They aren't dropping at all whatsoever. This goes for Zenyatta himself as well. This is a great way to die ultimates. You can use this to save your team from a Diva Bomb, a Riptire. A very funny one that I've seen happen is if a Hammond comes in, a Wrecking Ball comes in and drops mines all over the point, Zenyatta can trans and just run through the mines, blowing up all the mines. It won't hurt him because he's immune to he's immortal while he's in Transcendence form. These are all things. Transcendence is essentially like an ultimate denier. You can use this and save this for heavy damage. Zarya grabs your team. Graviton surges your team. Pop Transcendence. No one's gonna die. And 6 seconds is plenty long enough for your team to get out of that Graviton surge and get away. So all of these things, Transcendence should be like your emergency, oh fuck, button to save your team from certain death. Don't use it just out of nowhere, but it doesn't take much to charge up Zenyatta's ult, as you can see. But Transcendence is a very, very powerful ultimate, and any DPS worth a lick assault is going to try to force that that transcendence out of you in some way so that they can ult without worrying about you nullifying it. So don't just pop it to pop it. Use it when you feel it is going to be the most use to you. Now, as far as strengths and weaknesses, or some tips and tricks, I say this in a lot of my support videos. As a support character, you don't have a lot of health. Zed only has 200. Play your corners, okay? Play in your corners. Be out here. You can throw this orb out. You know, even if, like I said, you throw your orb out, you can still maintain line of sight while playing your corners. Don't be out in the middle of BFE, out here, hey, here's Zenyatta, throwing my fucking orb out, and I'm slinging things that people are going to focus you, and you're going to die. Okay, you can still maintain your line of sight to your person that you're healing. You have approximately 3 seconds before your Discord falls off a target, so if you need to dive back here and go back out, you can do that. But the thing is, if there's a Roadhog on the enemy team standing here, he's going to have a much easier time hooking you if you're standing right here compared to if you're over here healing the target and throwing that Discord out and you're beaming people and everything, and he tries to hook you. You're going to be right here. It's going to be harder for him to get you, okay? Same goes with like a Widow who's trying to pick you, or a Hanzo that's trying to pick you. Playing the corners is going to help you a lot. Keep in mind as well some strengths and weaknesses to Zenyatta. He's very, very strong against long-range heroes. He's strong against a lot of things. Like, he's one of the, in my opinion, he's one of the best healers in the game. One of the best supports in the game, if played correctly. Zenyatta can absolutely carry some teams. As far as weaknesses, he does have a few kind of glaring ones, one of which being that if he's pressured a lot, he's not going to survive a lot. His fire rate is not very fast. It takes a lot for this to charge up to really pump out damage. So, like, you know, anybody that has very fast burst, like a Reaper or McCree, you know, things that can really burst a Junkrat, all of these individuals that can burst damage really quickly, they'll absolutely be able to outplay Zenyatta. Same goes with like your dive heroes like Genji and Tracer. These individuals, Winston as well. Zenyatta will have a hard time dealing with a Winston diving into him because he's not going to be able to do anything about the massive health pool Winston has, and he's not going to be able to get away very quickly because Zenyatta's movement speed is not very fast. So he's not going to be able to get away from a Winston very effectively or quickly. So all of these things are threats to Zenyatta. So you want to make sure that you're aware of those things, and you try to maintain distance from them and make it hard for them to get to you. That means playing your corners, playing in the back line of your team, not pushing up super far and trying to like be a DPS Zenyatta and chase people or something like that. Don't be stupid like that, okay? You're a support. You're not going to win a 1v1 if you're chasing them across the map. Like, I know it's very tempting if you see a low health hero to chase them across the map to try to pick them out. It's just going to get you killed or somebody else killed. And a dead support is no support at all. So just remember that your first and most important goal is to support your team. You aren't supporting anybody if you chase a single DPS halfway across the map to kill them off as Zenyatta just for the rest of your team to get killed back at the point because their support hero wasn't there to help. Okay, so these are all things that you need to keep in mind about whenever you're playing Zenyatta. But hopefully this video helped you guys out in terms of getting started. Zenyatta isn't a complicated hero to play, but he does take a little bit of skill to kind of understand, you know, who to Discord, when to Discord, communication, stuff like that. But hopefully this will help you get started. If you guys have any questions or comments, if this video helped you at all, please leave a comment down below. You know, be sure to like and subscribe, and please check out the Twitch channel and the link in the description below. I really, really do appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.